performance in a very minute amount, but I don't think I would ever notice it. I would be happy to hold on to this cylinder. But check out the piston. Oh, I just noticed that. Holy crap. There's a big... Oh, that's not good. Today we confirm the suspicions and rumors that the wrist pin bushing on the original Phantom 85 is indeed faulty, and we'll explore some of the damage caused by this defective wrist pin bushing. This failure, although expected, comes at a bit of an unfortunate time as we just got the PZ20 with the G2 reed on the bike and it was running fantastic. It had no more four-stroking issues under light or heavy load at any throttle positions. I was still running a little rich in the high end, so I wasn't ready for a top speed run yet, but she was getting close. I was expecting this failure simply due to the sheer number of comments I got about the impending failure of this defective bushing in the Discord server and on my YouTube page. But I couldn't really start digging into the motor and replace the bushing myself because it's still under review, and we couldn't really give it a fair, unbiased review and confirm suspicions if we just went ahead and replaced it. So although we were expecting it, and many of you were completely right about it, we had to see for ourselves. Well, I'm about 80% positive that's the bushing that just went. We'll find out when we tear it apart. Damage goes as follows. What I've noticed so far, and what you'll see through the following clips, is severe pitting on the top of the cylinder and piston, where I can only assume bits of metal bushing material was getting squished in between the piston and cylinder. I was finding bits of the bushing material throughout the cylinder and piston, as well as a little bit on top of the crank and the transfer ports, so this is most likely what caused that. With the bushing basically fried and shaved away, there was about 2 millimeters of play in the wrist pin, causing the piston to wiggle severely. This would also cause it to contact the top of the head by itself, even without metal in between the piston and cylinder, simply because the amount of play in the bushing goes beyond what's available in the squish gap. The sides of the piston and the cylinder wall all look fantastic, and the cylinder looks salvageable. There's no gouging anywhere on the sides of the piston or the cylinder. There is, however, one notch at the top of the exhaust port where it looks like a bit of metal got caught between the piston and the port. Oh. It's gooey. The wrist pin is gooey. Like, I mean, not the pin itself, it's just got a gooey layer on it. I'm guessing this gooey layer that I'm finding all over the piston and the wrist pin is the graphite that they injected into the bushing. At least I think it was graphite. It can't be any kind of sludge buildup. I run 32-to-1, and the tune on this bike was pretty good. The top of the piston shows that, and so did the spark plug. This is definitely something contaminated in the oil mix. You may have noticed that in the beginning of the video I said the first version of the Phantom 85, and that's because they pulled these motors off the shelves almost immediately after I purchased it, which I can only assume is to address this issue, as it was pretty vocal throughout the community. I'm gonna have to look up how you guys are getting these bushings out. I'm sure it's super simple. Yep, she's fried. That's a lot of play. Let me see if I can get you a better angle. On most cheap kits I get, I don't bother with warranties on parts or the motor itself, but in this case, given the price of the motor and the unique situation of this failure, I'm going to contact bicycleengines.com, where I purchased the motor, and see how they want to handle this situation. Ideally, I would prefer a new piston, bushing, and possibly crankcase bearings, due to the fact that I'm sure this contaminated the bearings in the crankcase with bushing material. And we'll see where we can go from there. I can salvage the cylinder. I don't think the pitting at the top is anything to be too concerned about. Yes, it would probably hurt performance in a very minute amount, but I don't think I would ever notice it. I would be happy to hold on to this cylinder. But check out the piston. Oh, I just noticed that. Holy crap. There's a big... Oh, that's not good. Okay, so there's a big chunk of the piston missing, which I just noticed during editing. I have no idea how I missed that during initial inspection, and when I was literally taking the pictures, what can I say? I'm not perfect. Yeah, so this has definitely found its way into the motor, and the crankcase bearings are for sure going to be contaminated, and it's likely that the lower connecting rod bearing is also going to need to be cleaned or replaced. So yeah, we're going to just send this on over to bicycleengines.com and see how they handle the situation. In summary, and we'll have a follow-up video once we know how this is going to end, I think that bicycleengines.com should have sent emails out to anybody who purchased the Phantom 85 as soon as they decided to pull them off the shelves, simply telling them to park the motor until the issue can be resolved and replacement parts can be sent out, may have saved builders from more severe damage to the kits than we're seeing in this. But this is less than 100 miles on the motor, so it's likely that anybody who's run one of these original motors at all has already damaged it. To their credit, they did pull the motors almost immediately once discovering that this was indeed a real issue on every single motor. And people who I've talked to in the Discord server who have contacted them because they've purchased a kit and they've had problems said that they've been very responsive to emails and they will cover them for replacement parts and warranty issues. So they're taking care of it as far as I know. I haven't heard anyone saying they're having problems contacting them or they're having issues not getting a warranty on the kit. In most situations with cheap generic kits, this would be where the official review would end and I would give you my opinion to stay far away from the motor. However, this is a unique motor kit. They put a lot of research and development into this. It was supposed to be on the market over a year ago, but the virus made that difficult, so they didn't really get a chance to do the testing that needed to be done on this kit, and they just rushed it to market. But they are addressing the issues, so once a second version is on the shelves, I will revisit the motor. For now, if you have an original motor, definitely address these issues yourself or contact bicycleengines.com and see what they're willing to do about your kit. I will update you guys once we have more information on the motor itself and hopefully a version 2, which is really a shame because I was really starting to like this motor with the PZ20 on it and the G2 Reed. Man, it was running smooth. It had so much low-end torque. It would get up to speed so fast, even on a 36.2. And on the F-Zero with the new handlebars and seat, this was just turning into a real pleasurable bike to ride, which is a big contrast to our original review on the F-Zero. So hopefully we'll be able to get a new motor on this bike soon. And until next time, guys, ride safe.